Hey everybody, Joe with Snap Fabrications here. Doing this video for a tutorial on the M1 respirators designed by Long Island Racing. But this video is just going to go over the basic assembly and use of this mask. So we'll start with a mask shell. This is one of the first versions that they produced and what I'm currently printing. It's available in different sizes based on different prints that they've made. Now, in the kits that I'm producing, it's going to have one mask body. It's going to have a bag with a retainer ring and some filter material, and another bag that's going to have the adjustable straps and the gasket to seal the shell on your face. So we'll start with the gasket material. This is just a rubber D-shaped weather stripping, something approximately 1/4 inch by 5/16 or 1/4 by 1/4, 5/16 by 5/16. Whatever you can find at a hardware store near you is going to serve the purpose, but somewhere in that size range. You get smaller, it's not going to be effective to make the seal. You get bigger, it may be too bulky, but somewhere around 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch is going to work. The kits I'm including, the foam trim that are roughly 12.5 inches long. That's a little bit longer than it needs to be, but that's so when it's being fit inside the mask body, you can trim it to fit basically. Now these are self-adhesive, or at least you should buy it with a self-adhesive strip on it. I will say on the inside of the mask, after it's printed, I am sanding the inside lip here, 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch in to just smooth out the surface, but also give it a little bit of tooth so that the self-adhesive strip will stick to it. Now, this is how I'm doing them. I am starting at the bottom center of the mask, which is going to be where it comes in contact with your lip, and that's where I'm starting. I've seen some of these type of masks where they start at the top, but the first couple that I assembled, I found it easier to get the seal between the two ends better down here at the bottom. That way, as I'm working my way around the mask, once I get to the top of the nose piece or the crown, that's where I can put a bend in this foam. To help create that seal right at the bridge of your nose. Keep going around the trim, and I'm staying, right along the edge of the mask. I'm not going in to the mask. I'm trying to stay right at the edge of the mask. And you can see here at the end, it's going to overlap. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that a little bit longer than it should be, so that when I butt these two ends up, they'll kind of seal themselves together. And once you get that, you'll just want to press on that foam strip and really get that adhesive to bond. One of the guys out here that has been printing these masks as well found that his self-adhesive strip wasn't sticking well enough. I'm not sure if it has to do with the type of material he's printing with versus what I have, but I haven't had a problem with them sealing. But what he did to remedy that is he had some Gorilla Glue, some clear Gorilla Glue. I don't think it was the water activated kind, and he basically ran a bead of that glue at the seam where the foam and the plastic shell meet, and that just kind of secured it in place. But I haven't had that problem with the the gasket coming off. So once that gasket is in there, you can basically fit that up to your face, and you can tell if it's sealing all the way. One way to tell is when you've got this mask this way, just press it up to your face with the palm of your hand and breathe in and out, and you can tell if it's sealing against your face. You don't want to be forcing it into your face, because the straps that hold it onto your head aren't going to force it against your face. They're just going to hold it snug. But if you put the mask up to your face and press with the palm of your hand and breathe in and out, you can tell that it seals against your face. If there's a gap somewhere and you can feel or hear the air coming out, that might be a place where you need to secure the foam a little bit better, or potentially need a different size mask. I think the majority of the masks that are being printed are the large size, and I think that's accommodating most. But again, you can adjust the size if you're printing these for yourself with your printer. So getting that placed in there and getting it to seal against your face is really on you, to make sure that this is fitting you as best as possible. That's your responsibility. The kits that I send out, the gasket is not on the mask, basically for two reasons. One, so you can make sure that it fits your face, and two, I am doing my best to disinfect them. I wipe them down with some Lysol wipes and put them in a Ziploc bag. But when you get them, obviously you'll want to take your own precautions to sanitize before you use the mask. Now the filter that's being used, Scott brand shop towels. Creating your own filters. My kits will come with 2 pieces of the material to act as your initial filter, and a retaining ring to hold the filter on. You're going to want to have, especially if you're using this mask in a hospital type situation, if you're a police officer, fireman, EMS, you're going to want to have a Ziploc baggie full of these, because this is not a forever filter. The same way this isn't. Once it's been used, once it's either saturated with moisture from your breath, or it's done its work for your shift at the hospital, or you've taken it off, gone out of a clean area into a dirty area, however you regulate, cleaning your mask now should be when you're changing the paper fabric filters, because these are cheap. A box of these rags will last you forever. A roll of these rags would last you close to forever. So basically you get one rag like this. You're going to want to create yourself a pattern, which is roughly, I think it was 3 1/4 inches. Yeah, 3 1/4 inch diameter is how I'm making them. Basically take one of these sheets in your pattern, pen, pencil, whatever, trace your pattern, putting as many of these on a sheet as possible. I think the size sheets that I have, I think I get 9 of these on there, and then just use a scissor to cut them out and keep a stack of them in the bag, either on your person, in your car, if you're a police officer, so that you've always got fresh filters. Now, like I said, the kit will come with 1 set of filters and a filter ring, and it's idiot proof, really. You got your 2 pieces of filter material, put them on the top of the mask in the center, take this retaining ring, and it just snaps right over, and now you've got a filtered mask. You put it on and you can tell as you breathe in and out that you're breathing through that filter material, just as it's supposed to. Now talking about the filter side of this. This is the first iteration of the retaining ring that Long Island Racing has made. It has evolved a couple times. The kits that I'm producing initially have this ring. It has evolved to a different style cover that still snaps on and off over the mask body with the filter material. The difference being obviously that it's covered and protected versus the filter material being exposed. The thought process being that obviously you've got another line of defense to protecting your filter, that if you're a nurse in a situation and you're wearing this mask and say you got sneezed on, well, your filter material wouldn't get hit by the sneeze. Your face would get hit by the sneeze, but this would stop any droplets from getting to make contact with the filter. The other end of it, or the other part of it being this snorkel or open end where you're able to still continue to breathe through the filter. Long Island Racing is working with a filter manufacturer, as I understand, to create a bag filter that will go over the end of this, and it would get secured with a plastic zip tie, cable tie. But you can create your own filter as well to utilize this. And the way I was instructed is using a full sheet of this material, and you're basically going to end up either using it as a full sheet or folding it in half. And you use the nozzle itself, where you would wrap it around this body and quite literally take it off, and where you've got your seam, you would staple that together, fold the end over and staple it, and you've created a filter bag that you put back on and put your cable tie on. So that's something that I'm playing around with to see how best to be able to make a filter bag out of a single sheet of the Scott shop towel. I haven't come up with a specific design or way that I would do that yet, but looking at that until potentially there is actual filter bags available. Once that happens, I'm sure Long Island Racing will be sharing, and I would share as well. But that's the intent of this. So this cover is ever evolving. The mask has been evolving. I'm actually printing a new design today to see how that new mask is different than what I've got. But this is what I'm currently working with, what you get in a kit from me. So we've got the mask and we've got the filter installed. The next part being the straps that hold it to your head. In the bag, you're going to get 2 pieces of 1/4 inch bungee cord, and those are roughly 24 inches long. And in my kit, you get 2 pieces of leather that are 1 inch by 7 inches long, and they have a series of 3 1/4 inch holes punched on both ends. You can see there, and that is kind of my self-adjusting head strap. What you're going to do with these 2 lengths of bungee cord, on one end, you're going to go ahead and tie a knot as close to the end as possible on both of these, like so. You take one of these leather straps and one of the bungee cords. On the 3rd hole in, we're going to go through. We're going to loop back through the 2nd hole and loop back through the 1st hole and pull that cord all the way through. So it's kind of like that, like you're threading a shoelace. Take your end through either the bottom or the top loop of the mask, And now, instead of starting at the third hole, we're going to start at the first hole and weave it in and out the same way as we did with the first one. And once you get that end out, tie a knot at the end, pull it tight, so you'll have a loop that looks something like that. Now for the other one, we're going to do the same process. Weave in and out one end of the leather strap, go through the other loop on the face mask, and back through the other end of the leather strap. Tie a knot. So now we've got the two head straps in place. Now how you put the mask on. You're going to want to take the head strap that goes over the nose, put that on first. That goes around your neck. Put the mask on your face. I'm going to take this filter off so I can talk. Put the mask over your face, and then the other strap will go over the top of your head and will crisscross your face and over and under your ear. And this is the point where you can take these straps and adjust them, where you grab the knot and pull it through. Now this doesn't lock it down 100%, but there's enough friction to be able to tighten the mask against your face and or loosen it. It does basically work as a quick release if you should happen to need to take the mask off quickly. But that's basically how it goes on and how to utilize the strap with the adjustment. So that is the basics as far as assembly and how to wear the mask. It should really be about everything. Only thing that you as the user will be responsible for is obviously, like I said earlier, fitting the rubber gasket in there and making sure it seals on your face. You probably want to get a roll of this gasket trim or this door seal, so that as you're using your mask, if this gets dirty, if it gets torn, if it starts to peel away from use, or when you sanitize the mask, you want to be able to replace the seal. A roll of this is 17 foot, and it's actually a double roll, so that, I mean, you can get a lot of gaskets out of here. So you'll want to have a roll of that. You want to get some Scott shop rags so you can create a supply of filter material, and it should be good to go. That's it. The mask with a couple different of the filter covers. I may make these available in the future if there's a demand for them, but everything I'm doing now is going to be coming like this. The M1 Respirator from Long Island Racing. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. I'll put my contact info at the end of this video. This will be on my Instagram, YouTube probably, and Facebook. So yeah, thanks for watching, and be safe out there. Appreciate you.